The Hafs reading is the most popular reading of the Quran. However, original Islamic sources say that Hafs was a liar and a thief. But Muslims use his recitation of the Quran every day. Are you willing to trust Hafs with your eternal soul? Last time we talked about the reputation of Imams and Rawis when it comes to those so-called 7 ahruf and readings of the Quran. And with me here to unpack all of that is our dear brother Rob, Christian. Rob, welcome back and thank you so much for taking the time to do so.
Thank you, brother, for inviting me again to continue these amazing series. As we already mentioned in our last video, we talked about Khalaf and we talked about Al-Kisai, Al-Kufi. Now we are going to continue with Hafs, basically the person behind the number one, the most popular version of the Quran. And we'll see how easy it is to show everybody how easy it is how to destroy the Hafs Quran in seconds, a matter of seconds or minutes, let's say. So let us continue.
Let's do it. And last time, of course, we talked about Khalaf and Kisai likened to drink wine, and Kisai admittedly was a homosexual. So today we're going to focus on Hafs.
Exactly. So here on the next slide, we see that Muslims love to talk about this, and they call this basically the golden chain, the people inside the chain that are basically responsible for, let's say, the Hafs version this time. You see on top, we see Muhammad and we see Uthman ibn Affan, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Zayd ibn Thabit, who Uthman ordered to collect the Quran, recollected and, write it in the Qurayshi dialect. That's Zayd ibn Thabit. And we see on the right, Ubay ibn Ka'b, and we see Ibn Mas'ud. As you see, I put numbers because Zayd ibn Thabit, he collected in his copy, we have 114 chapters. But Ubay ibn Ka'b's version of the Quran was 116 chapters. So 2 chapters more. And Ibn Mas'ud, we're going to talk about him in a future video. He had only 111 chapters. He left basically chapters like Surah Al-Fatiha and chapter 113 and 114 out. He did not implement them in the Quran. He didn't consider them to be the Quran. And this is the Ibn Mas'ud that Muhammad said, go to him. And he mentioned him as first among the other 3 Sahaba to go to for regarding the recitation of the Quran. And we continue, we see the most important last 2 people in the golden chain, supposed golden chain. Aasim, his teacher, Aasim, was blind and demented. He used to forget even what he memorized. So he had problems in memorization. Brother, do you want to add something on top of what I just said about Aasim? Because this is really important.
Yeah, I mean, just what you said is extremely important. The idea that he had dementia and he would forget some of the things about the Quran. So he is supposedly the teacher or at least the influencer for Hafs. That's why it's extremely important to point that out.
So how, since Muslims always brag about, we have memorized the Quran for the last 1400 years. These people, and especially the last 2 in the chain, you see Aasim, how could he memorize the Quran, but at the same time be demented and forgets what he memorized and still considered to be trustworthy? And at the same time, he is blind. That's amazing. And the last person, and this is why it's called the Hafs version, the Hafs Qira'at. Hafs himself was considered to be a liar, a thief, a fabricator, and certainly not trustworthy. Imagine, brother, the last 2 people had many problems, as you see. Yet Muslims claim that the Quran of today, the number 1 Quran, the most popular version, the Hafs version, is the real Quran. Brother, we can talk for many hours about Hafs, but let's see Let's see what we can find regarding the Hafs version.
One thing about Hafs, by the way, I mean, I want to ask my Muslim friends, do you, my Muslim friends, know that there are more than one version of Hafs? There is the Hafs in India, the version of India, the version of Turkey, the version of Egypt that is more popular. There is one in a Persian version, you know. So which one? Which one are we talking about?
Exactly. Which Hafs version? Anyway, so here's another slide that you see, and I want to ask you, brother, to read the Arabic and translate for us.
Very good. So it says Hafs ibn Sulaiman كتابا فلم يرده وكان يأخذ كتب الناس فينسخها. So it's saying Hafs basically either kitaban or kataban, I guess.
He used to borrow books, let's say.
So he would borrow books from people and will make copies of those. So عن ابن معين basically narrated كان حفص وأبو بكر. Hafs and Abu Bakr used to be from among the most learned people بقراءة Aasim, meaning of the reading of Aasim that we just mentioned right now. وكان حفص أقرأ من أبي بكر وكان كذابا. And Hafs used to be more, of a reader than Abu Bakr, but he used to be also a liar.
Wow. Please help me here, brother. Help me out here. Don't we see here a huge contradiction, right? They are calling him basically trustworthy, but at the same time, he's a liar. I'm not getting it.
I know. I mean, it's a very confusing and contradictory statement.
This is amazing. And guys, remember, this same Hafs, why am I calling him a thief? Actually, I'm not the one calling him. That's what the Islamic scholars are saying. He used to borrow books, copy them, and claiming that he wrote these books. So he was a thief, not to be trusted, and also a huge liar. Yet Muslims put their trust, their salvation, and souls on the line on people like Hafs. That's amazing. Let us continue. Here's an example of a hadith, and you see in the bottom, it says its isnad is da'if jiddan, meaning the isnad, the chain of narration, is highly weak, jiddan, very weak, because of the weakness of people like Amr bin Uthman and Hafs bin Abu Omar al-Qari. The same Hafs, whenever you see his name in the chain of a hadith, you can clearly, immediately say, this isnad is highly da'if because Hafs is a liar, not to be trusted. So not one hadith where he's mentioning can be trusted and must be considered immediately da'if jiddan because he is a liar, not to be trusted. Amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, again, these are Islamic sources, like you stated, brother. So you're not like giving an opinion about Hafs. You're just basically recording and bringing to the forefront here what the Muslims who knew him are saying about him. So should we take the word of Muslims today who did not know the guy, or the people who were eyewitness to him? That's the million-dollar question.
Exactly. And here on the next slide, we see an example of a hadith, but the footer that you all often see under a line, under a hadith that I took, and it says on top, isnadahu da'if jiddan. Again, the chain of narration is highly weak. So very da'if, right? Very da'if, more than da'if. Very da'if. So, brother, do you want to read the Arabic, with red lines underneath?
Sure. I mean, it's part of it is what we mentioned earlier as well. So it says Hafs Abu Amr, that's his name. هو حفص ibn Sulaiman al-Bazzaz al-Qari. His name, the full name is Hafs, the son of Sulaiman or Solomon al-Bazzaz, the reader. And Sahib Qira'at Hafs, he is the one that Qira'at Hafs, or the reading of Hafs, is attributed to him, al-Ma'rufa, which is a well-known one. التي يقرأ بها الناس بمصر, and the people in Egypt used it. وهو متروك الحديث, and basically the hadith is abandoned, I guess. That's what they intend here.
You can take his hadith, basically. Rejected.
So, technically
totally
speaking,
rejected.
Whatever he will say, you shouldn't really take, let's say, seriously, or at least with authenticity. Do you want me to read the next one that is underlined?
Yeah, you know, Taraku. So basically, he is totally rejected, and also that he used to borrow books and did not return them back to their original owners, make copies, and claiming that he is the one who wrote it. And wakana kadhaban, right? He is again a liar, as you see. More and more books that we find that are actually are confirming that you should not trust such a liar and deceiver like Hafs. All of his hadith are rejected, and on top of that, he's a thief. Now, here's the $1 million question, dear brother. And I want to the audience, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, to think with me here. Would you trust a thief, a liar with your wealth or money? If not, if the answer is no, then what about your salvation and soul?
That's
Would
right.
you trust him with the Qur'an? Ya Muslimin, Ya Muslimun? That's the $1 million question, dear brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is the whole idea.
And,
You know, we are focusing on people that allegedly were the trustworthy readers and transmitters and reciters of the Quran.
yeah, and exactly. And here's another hadith, and this is highly important. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 108. Sahih al-Bukhari 108. It says, narrated Anas, the fact which stops me from narrating a great number of hadiths to you, to the Muslimin, is that the Prophet said, who said? Muhammad said, whoever tells a lie against me intentionally, then surely let him occupy his seat in hellfire. Since Hafs, all of his hadith are rejected immediately and considered to be highly da'if, very weak, da'if jiddan, then according to the logic of the Prophet of Islam and his words, as we speak, Hafs, according to Islamic logic and to the Prophet of Islam, his own wording, Hafs is now in hellfire burning for eternity because he lied about the Prophet and the sayings of the Prophet. That's amazing. And we showed you in the last videos, my friends, and you see here the 3 arrows. We mentioned Khalaf, right? He used to be drinking wine while reading the Quran and praying and whatnot. We mentioned Al-Kisai Al-Kufi, one of the other readers. He was a drunkard. He used to drink wine at the same time being a homosexual. If you missed that video, please watch it. And we just mentioned Hafs in this video. Hafs, a liar, a thief, and certainly not to be trusted. Ya Muslimin, Ya Muslimun, please wake up. We do not hate you. We just ask you to think about your salvation.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, brother. And hopefully everyone is enjoying these short videos, and especially this one, which is extremely damaging when it comes to some of the most prominent readers and reciters and transmitters of the readings of the Quran itself. Memorized or not memorized, the reputation said it all. They cannot be trusted for various reasons. So our Muslim friends, come to Jesus, come home. He's the only one that can save you. Thank you, brother. This is Al-Fadi. God bless you. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel CIRA International and click on the bell so that you receive notifications whenever we publish a new video or go live. I would also like to appeal to you to consider becoming a Patreon patron by clicking the link right below. By doing so, you can give towards the production of these videos. There are also other options for you where you can give to our channel. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.